around like a big circle instead of this forward thinking or authority thinking thing. Yeah.
That's a message for the
And you can apply that on your meetings.
I'm sorry if I stopped the discussion now with this, but it was just a practical matter. But who was on turn to after Philip?
They were talking about in Cyprus, after school, you go to military education for 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah, in Sweden it's optional, and it's fewer and fewer who does it. So today it's very good to have done the military education when you apply for jobs. It's a good experience.
I said I had bad legs. But
you can lie on the applications if you want.
Italy has abolished the compulsory military training. We only have an army of professionals, a small army of professionals. If you want to apply for the army, you do it freely at any age, with any education level. But you are not expected to devote a year of your life to the defense of the fatherland after you pass high school. It has been simply abolished. I've been one of the last ones to... I should have fulfilled this duty if I was chosen, but I had some asthma problems and the army didn't want me, so I didn't insist actually.
The Italian students don't want to tell nothing about vocational concerns.
I don't have a questions, but it is on an affirmation. Also in Italy, we can wait some years before we start university. But if we wait some year, we probably will finish. About 30 years old, and then it's very difficult for work for our job.
This has been quite an issue in Italy. At what age people should graduate? We are trying to take down, to lower the average age of the graduated, because I think it's 27 by now. Yeah, the average. And this is seen as a problem. We would like to get closer to the Anglo-Saxon system, where people leave school at 17 and graduate in 4 years with a bachelor's degree, so they are ready for the job market by 21 or 22. And we might as well broaden the topic, discussing at what age people should leave home.
In fact, yes.
This is quite, does anybody...
In Cyprus they never leave home. If you are 40 years old and you are not married, you stay with your
Of course, you don't want to disappoint your mom.
And
it's very nice. For me it's like a restaurant. I go there every midday for lunch.
Maybe someone has seen this French movie, Tanguy, with a 28-year-old guy who absolutely doesn't want to move from home. The mom tries in every way to kick him out, but she tragically fails every time. This is quite typical for Italy as well.
This is very typical in Portugal. People in their 30s and they're still in their parents' house. And actually they don't pay for anything. They have food, they have. Yes, it's very, very cheap.
Not the girls, only the guys.
Not the girls?
We love our parents.
The girls like their independence, okay?
Yes, it's very
Yeah,
but here in Sweden, most young people want to leave home as fast as possible, because you often go to like other cities in Sweden to study, then you live there for like 4 or 5 years, and then you don't want to go home and live at your parents' house again, so you often don't do that. But it's often it's very hard to like find your first new apartment. That's like the biggest problem. Why? And that's why many people go to like other cities in Sweden and study there, because it's a bit easier to find like a student apartment and stuff like that. So that's why not too many Swedish younger people live at home. But of course there are some that live at home, but it's not that usual like in Portugal or Cyprus.
But it's a big difference between boys and girls.
Yeah.
Girls moving to bigger towns to keep on studying, and the boys are at home.
But it's also
uneducated.
Yeah, but it's also different. It's depending on where in Sweden you live. Because if you live like in Stockholm or like in Malmö or the bigger cities, you're more urged to leave home than if you like live in the north part of Sweden and maybe you take over your dad's work, and it's very different from where you live, and if it's a big town or if it's in the country. And it's also different that like it's a higher percentage of students from the cities that like go to university than the students that like live in the country and the smaller cities.
It reminds me a little bit of the problem we have in Germany between East Germany and West Germany still today. So a lot of girls are leaving their East German villages and go to the West to study there, and the boys just stay behind and are uneducated.
It's the same in Sweden.
So you have the North-South problem and we have the East-West problem.
Especially in the north.
We each other. Actually in Alsfeld we have quite a good system to get rid of all our teenagers. We make life as boring as possible, so they really have to leave when they're 18.
And for example, it's more expected of a student in a big city here in Sweden to study than like some of the students that live the younger people that live in the like the country. It's more accepted not to go to university than here. Like on Lidingö, it's like if you don't go to university, it's like why?
It's expected of you.
It's expected. You have to.
In Cyprus,
This is especially
everybody goes to university.
because we live in quite a wealthy suburb, and in Stockholm as well, we are expected to go to the university, almost everyone. But in other parts of the country, it is not that expected. And as Christer said, in like the northern parts of Sweden, it's a very big problem that girls, when they graduate, they move into the bigger towns and down south in Sweden to study, and the boys are left behind. So there are many boys who stay there, and the girls disappear from the northern parts.
Like my mother and her two sisters, they're from the north part of Sweden, and all their three sisters, all of them have moved to Stockholm and studied here, and they live here now, all three of them. So it's you can see that it's very common that you move here, and it's like, but there are a lot of like great universities in the north part of Sweden too. It's just that, for example, my sister, she has moved to the north part of Sweden and studies and live and work there now. So it's like, but it's most moved down to the south part.